Our lesson today on September 13th is titled, Your Mission, Should You Choose to Accept It. Our scripture text comes from Romans chapter 5, 1 through 11, and was written by Paul. As we look at Paul's conversion, we know that Paul was called to serve the church and to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ to others. And we know that Paul also suffered for the gospel. Paul answered the mission of Christ. In this lesson, you will be invited to think about your own call. Think about, again, if you are willing to accept the call of the Lord. It may mean that we have to suffer in ways that we have not thought about before. But in the scripture, it encourages us that suffering produces character, and character produces hope. Hope does not disappoint us because we have the love of Jesus Christ in our lives. And our focus is on the reconciliation of our lives to Jesus Christ. That good news is not to be kept to ourselves, but our spiritual practice is to learn how to share that reconciliation power of Christ with others, even those who may not agree with us or may be different than us. How can we answer the call? How can we share the mission of God with our communities, our families, with the world? Paul took on the mission of God, and Paul boasted in his own suffering because he knew that it was serving a purpose. When we know that God is with us, when we know that there is a purpose for our assignment, we can also boast in our sufferings because we know that it is only temporary. We know that according to the text, the suffering is building up endurance. It is testing our faith. It is encouraging us to be instruments of God. Remember that salvation is not just about receiving the love of Jesus Christ, the forgiveness of sins, and the reconciliation to God. It is about spreading that news and answering the call of the Lord. As you continue this lesson, I encourage you to consider, what is your mission from God? Each of us are called to build up the kingdom of Christ using our unique gifts and the power of God's love. We now boast that we are saved from sin, that we are reconciled with God's love, and we can make a difference in the lives of others. Paul used his life, even his weaknesses, to make a difference in the kingdom of the church. How can we build the church together? Through the reconciliation of Christ. It is our assignment. May you go forth in that joy.